Meditation, at least to me, is many things. It is transformative, it's peaceful, it is calm, it's life-changing. But the one thing meditation is not is difficult. Meditation is not hard. And you might hear that initially and have this gut instinct rise up saying, have you never meditated a day in your life, bro? That stuff is incredibly hard. And maybe you have meditated a few times before, maybe even a lot. And no matter what you try or no matter what you do, meditation just doesn't seem to be giving you the benefits or the effects that you've heard about so many times. You know, studies quoting peace of mind and more daily mental clarity and the decreasing of stress, anxiety, depression, right? There's some incredibly profound benefits cited in studies. Heck, some people see meditation as an almost panacea for life's problems. And so you, like many others and myself, have sat down and closed our eyes and listened to the hum of our breaths and tried everything we can to meditate properly. But no matter how hard we try, our minds remain restless, we remain anxious, we remain stuck, and we give up. Maybe we just say, this is not for me, maybe for other people, maybe I'm not meant to be enlightened and that's the way it's going to be. And that's a fair reaction to have. I understand the frustration that you might be experiencing. But I truly believe that the reason we experience these troubles when it comes to trying meditation is not because it doesn't work, because it really does, and it really can have these unbelievable effects on your life, as you've heard of. The problem is our understanding of what meditation actually and really is. I believe there's a profound misunderstanding about the practice. And when we truly see the practice for what it is and what it's actually supposed to do, it's only then we can reap the rewards and the benefits of doing that practice consistently. And to explain this problem, I'm going to use the current example of the fact that it's raining. You might be a fan of the rain. You are entitled to your wrong opinion. And don't get me wrong, I'm not an idiot. I can be grateful to the rain for the various benefits it provides, for life-sustaining things it does. But if I'm being honest with you guys, your boy is not a fan for this kind of weather. I much prefer the sunny, beautiful, beach weather type days. I'm more of that kind of dude. So when it rains for me, it's not the greatest thing in the world. But let's pretend we all feel the same as me. And it's raining right now. And I was sitting here currently looking outside and thinking to myself, I can only be happy when this weather stops raining. And what if I said to you that I'm going to sit outside and look at this rain until the damn thing stops, right? And eventually, yes, it will stop. It will probably move on. How long will that take? I have no idea. This thing could be here for the entire day. Maybe even a week of crazy downpour. Who knows, right? But if I told you that I was going to sit outside right now and look at this rain and wait for it to go away, and that was the whole purpose of me watching it, you would say, I think it's time to admit you to the loony bin, bro. Like, of course, no matter how long I sit out here wishing that it would not rain, it's going to rain, with or without my permission. What if I told you that you were doing the exact same insane behavior when it comes to your meditation practice? You are sitting and calming the breath and watching these inevitable thoughts and these inevitable feelings arise and pass away, come and go. And just like the pouring rain, you are attempting to silence it. You're attempting to physically stop the rain from coming down. Because, why else would you be meditating, right? Why else would you be doing this practice if not to reduce your anxiety, to quiet your mind, to stop the racing thoughts and feelings? That's what you've been, unfortunately and incorrectly told. But it is the exact same thing as sitting outside, like I'm doing right now, and watching this rain in order to make it go away. It's impossible. And I know you don't want to hear that. It's not nice to hear that. Well, I was told that if I meditate for so long, every day, consistently, that I would feel happier and these negative thoughts would stop bothering me and all this stuff. But what if it's this fight? It's this constant attempt and control. It's this wanting to forcefully remove a stimulus that's actually keeping that stimulus and that pain and that problem right where it is, embedded inside of you. And you actually give it very little chance to naturally pass on its own, just like the rain. And that right there is the fundamental lie that you've been told about meditation. And anybody who's told you this has just blatantly lied to you, whether or not that was on purpose or just by a fact of ignorance. But you were told that you can control your thoughts and feelings, and that the goal of meditation is to silence your mind and bring you to peace and calm and tranquility. That is what the majority of people are told. But that is missing the entire point of meditation. What if the actual goal of meditation was to simply be aware and acknowledge the rain as it was in this moment, as an inevitable and real thing, that there is rain currently, to see it for what it is objectively, which would then allow us to naturally distance ourselves from what was going on, from the fact that it was raining, and ultimately see that this rain could not hurt us, that it does not have the power to affect us in any given way, and that the power that it has over either upsetting us, or like in my case, annoying us, is all because we give it that power in the first place, because we do not see it for what it truly is. Simply rain that comes, that goes. And once we see the truth in this reality, once we see it for what it is, passing weather, we can then and only then be free of the effects of that weather, whether it's sunny, rainy, stormy. And that is where true freedom lies, and that is where the power of our meditation practice truly begins. Because when you sit down to meditate the way that you perhaps have been doing so, in terms of, I sit down, I see racing thoughts, I see these horrible feelings going on, my goal is to quiet it down. My goal is to stop the thoughts, to find that mental peace and quiet and clarity, and to feel happy, right? The more you do that is exactly the same as saying, the more I sit here and watch the rain and try to get it to stop, the quicker I can be happy. But again, the rain does what the rain wants, the same way your thoughts do exactly what they want. And paradoxically, unlike rain, the more you try to stop your thoughts, the harder they seem to hit you, right? It's kind of like, the more I want the rain to stop, right, the more I notice it getting heavier, and the more I notice it actually only getting worse. Even though the rain's not trying to do that, your thoughts very might well actually get worse, because they can sense that you're trying to stop them. They can sense that they are not welcome in your psyche, and so they fight harder, and your meditation practice falls apart because you are not at peace, and the more you try to get rid of them, the more they fight back. But what if instead we just simply looked at the rain for a moment? We looked at these thoughts and these emotions and said, wow, I'm thinking a lot right now. There is a thought of fear. By the way, if you can hear my dog drinking water, that's her in the corner here. There is a thought of anxiety. There's feelings of stress and sadness going on right now. And literally watching those thoughts and those feelings as though they were droplets of rain. Noticing a drop here, noticing a drop there. And then simply taking our attention away from it and saying, okay, I see the rain. I'll come back to my breath. I'll come back to that peace. Finding that stillness. And then again, noticing another drop of rain, noticing another gust of wind, aka noticing another thought arise. I wonder what I'm having for dinner today. Oof, I wonder what my boss is going to tell me at work tomorrow. And then you catch it, and then you notice, oh, it's raining. Seeing it for what it is. It's not this scary reality, the fear that your spouse might leave you, the anxiety that you're going to mess up at work, right? When you attach yourself to these thoughts, when you attach yourself to this rain, you give it power. You give it a feeling of real threat, real danger. The same way, if you had to sit here right now and think about a bear attacking you, if you could really visualize that in your mind, you are going to be in a state of panic quite quickly, even though there is no bear in sight to speak of. The same way, if you're thinking about somebody you find damn sexy and attractive, the same physiological, biological, will it'll arise in your body, and suddenly you'll be aroused, even though there may not be anybody around you to cause that reaction. It is not the things itself that cause the reaction. It's our illusion of getting attached to those thoughts and feelings that makes it so, that makes it real. But what if, again, we just caught ourselves in the moment and said, oh, it's just rain. It's just water falling from the sky. Inevitable, comes and goes, nothing I can do about it. The same way your thoughts inevitably and without your control produce thoughts, produce feelings, and you might be asking at the stage of the video, well, now why do they do that? I can't tell you that. I don't think anybody can tell you that. There's theories that talk about maybe it's our subconscious brains bringing things forward, maybe it's our higher selves speaking to us, maybe we're all nuts, maybe we all truly belong in the loony bin, and our brains just constantly chatter away to us as though we were crazy people. It's actually a brilliant quote that says, you know, the only difference between the crazy guy on the side of the road speaking to himself and you is that you don't verbalize the nuts and insane thoughts going on inside your head. And I think that that's true. So we don't know where these thoughts come from. All we know and all we see through meditation and the act of practicing meditation is that these thoughts are inevitable. Just like rain is an inevitable part of the weather and of life itself, your thoughts and feelings are inevitable and natural occurrences as a human being. And the quicker you can accept that and see it for what it is, because ultimately that is the only practice that we're trying to do here, to see those thoughts and to see that fly. You see, if I got annoyed there, instead of just noticing, oh, fly came past, inevitable, it happened, that was reality, I can let it go. It doesn't have to affect me. If you can see that, oh, I'm just having thoughts, I can't tell you where they came from, and to stop beating yourself up and belittling yourself for having these thoughts and feelings, that is what the practice of meditation is actually for. Meditation is for you to wake up to the reality that these thoughts and feelings are just simply objective, natural arisings. You never controlled where they came from. You didn't decide to have them. You should not beat yourself up for feeling sad today, for feeling anxious, for having a thought that might even scare you. I'm sure we've all had experiences, right, where we're sitting and all of a sudden we just have this nuts thought. It's like, what if my whole family was killed in like a car accident, you know? And you think, what the f***, like, where did that come from, you know? You might beat yourself up for that thought because it felt like you created it, but you did not. It's the same illusion of you thinking you create your thoughts that causes suffering is the exact same thing for you having the same illusion that you are supposed to stop these thoughts. You are supposed to control them, to get them under your will, to get those emotions under wraps, the same way you were told as a kid for your whole life. Control your anger. You're not supposed to be sad right now. Stop being sad. I'll give you a reason to be sad. You know, we've all been there, gentle parenting, just the opposite. But it's all an illusion, and it's in this illusion that keeps us stuck. But again, meditation isn't hard. It's only hard because we think meditation is supposed to do something that it cannot. It is misunderstood because if we realize that, again, meditation is less of a practice for forcing peace of mind and more of a practice of becoming aware of reality, of naturally dissolving our illusions about what reality is. And then paradoxically, in the process of doing that, by seeing the rain for what it is and allowing it to come and go as it actually has now. It's perfect divine timing for this video. The rain has stopped. It's realizing that I didn't control that, but I could watch it, I could see it for what it was, and I, more importantly, chose not to let it affect me. I didn't have to let it control my behavior or my feelings, and that it was my attitude towards the rain that really did make all the difference. That is when you realize that meditation is a profound practice for self-discovery, self-awareness, and self-truth. And it really is the truth, my friend. Not effort, but truth that will set you free.